Hey everybody, this is Brittany here with Surfing Waves of Light, and today I wanted to share a channeling with you all. I just finished up doing a private channeling for a client who has given me permission to share part of her channeling today. Her name is Aneta. She's a beautiful being. Send her some love because she is wonderful. She supports my business, and she's been it's I have to say it's such a blessing how much I love all of my clients, how wonderful they are, and how I get to grow and learn right along with them. And Aneta has this really amazing way of asking me questions that brings out some really beautiful channelings. And so today I am taking the initiative and the discipline to edit this video so that I can share it with you all. So just to give you a little background, one of her questions, we went, the guide spoke before this. This is the second time they came through. So one of her questions was about an investment opportunity she had, and the opportunity seemed really great on the outside, and it very much aligned with her values. But when it came time to speak with that person who was doing it, she was getting really weird vibes. And then also she had a friend that spoke with that same person, and he got weird vibes too, and they called the company and also got weird vibes, like just not exactly positive. And then she also had said that she had an experience with the same person before where she bought something from this person, but then the person really didn't help her. And so no judgment, but her question was around whether, she said, am I projecting this on to this client, or am I intuiting a message? And so the guides came through to answer that question. Am I projecting, or am I picking up on something? And their answer was so good, and I really wanted to share that with you all. They end up sharing a story about something I've gone through recently. And again, the channelings that they bring through, the message that came through, it's not against anyone, and you'll notice that about how they answer the question, but more just about how different opportunities are offering us chances to understand ourselves better. And so I'll just flash over to the recording, but I wanted to give you guys a heads up on a little background, so when as they were speaking you weren't confused as to what they're talking about. So I hope you enjoy this private channeling, and maybe it'll inspire some of you to get a private channeling from me. No pressure, but the sessions are really great, and yeah, I just love them. So be cool. All right, okay, enjoy. Love you guys. Bye.
But I had another question on they talked about the thing with the investment,
Mm-hmm.
and and my, with this acquaintance or friend or whatever, that there's for me, see, there's the question: is my experience, am I overreacting? Am I projecting? Or am I picking up on something that is valid? And also with the conversation with this rep of this company, you know, yes, it was unpleasant. And my other friend Johannes, he also had a similar experience. So I'm not sure how to interpret it. Does it mean I have a lot of projections going on, or does it mean something is off and I shouldn't move on it? That I don't know how to discern that.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's.
Okay.
Greetings, dear Annetta. It is I, Asante Germain, and I am joined this time with the purpley energy of the extraterrestrial friends of the Arcturian Council, and we as a collective are pleased to speak with you. This question is one that we feel is indicative of someone who is an extremely high level of spiritual awareness. For it is a difficult moment in time, we say, to discern when someone is projecting onto something else versus when they are sensing some danger or misfortune about. And so we will address this question in an unusual way, but eventually get to the point that will make it very clear for you. We want to start by reminding you that while your brain is encouraged to believe that life on planet Earth is linear and time moves from point A to point B, we want to remind you that the actual reality of this plane is the quantum realm. And so quantum time is quite different than linear time in that quantum time operates outside of the linear time and space. It is not restricted to 12 or 24 hours, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. Quantum time, we would like you to visualize it as just above linear time in the way that it mechanically works in this universe. And so when a being makes a decision in quantum time, the effects are exponential. They are a billions, a trillions, there is endless amounts of energies that wave out into the vast universe that is this plane. And yet when decisions are made in linear time, similar to 1 + 1 = 2, one decision equals one thing. And so it is much more limited and constricted in its expression. And yet this is the kind of thinking, this is the kind of time that you have been indoctrinated into, this being as well. And part of our teachings to the willing ears of the enlightened collective of this plane, which eventually will be all, but at this time are a few, is that the importance of learning at this time is to be making decisions in quantum time. And how you do that is quite different than linear thinking. In the linear mode, you have an opportunity and you must decide yes or no. And you say yes. And often, because linear thinking comes with linear logic, you say yes, and there are still doubts and fears. You say no, and there are still doubts and fears. When you say yes, you are unsure if it is the right choice. Is this woman aligned, cohesive? Is she honest, truthful? I had this poor experience with her before. Is this going to be the same outcome? You say no, and many beings on this planet, including yourself and this being, we are training her out of this very actively at this time, have the FOMO, the fear of missing out. Well, did I miss this opportunity? And so in linear time and linear decision making, often no matter what decision is made, there is a fulfilled regret because the mind is not at peace. And so it cannot be happy with either outcome. And accordingly, because the mind is not at peace, for it is only through peace that quantum time can be enacted anyway, there is this anchor of holding to a the consciousness of 3D, we will say, where yes, oftentimes things do not work out, yes or no. There will be a seeming idea of it did not work out. We're not saying this for this specific example, but just in general, this is how linear time and linear decision making works. Now, what we have inspired this being to do, and what we will say to you, dear Netta, is that it is best to make decisions from the quantum realm. So, how do you do this? Well, you do this by placing yourself in the highest vibrational frequency state that you can, and then making decisions when clear yeses come upon you, when massive amounts of synchronicities divulge onto your existence, where the knowing is so great that that is the right decision, that you proceed. And you will know it is right because you will feel it full throughout your body. This reality, in some respects, is an AI generated universe. In fact, the course itself says that there is no one else out there but you. And you is divided up into all of these separate bodies, all of these separate situations. And so seemingly there is all these options: how to invest money, how to care for oneself, how to heal, how to channel, how to do anything, how to surf. There are endless options. And yet, what we find to be the most productive, as we see quantum decision making as the most productive, is to get to the place of peace, is to surround yourself with the love so that you are able to put yourself into quantum time. And this is often why we ask beings to go inside or take a break from life, because this AI generated reality, it will constantly come at you with opportunities and ideas and money and all of these different concepts. And yet, the problem with that is it keeps you in linear time, it keeps you in linear decision making. And so, we can help you to make decisions on the linear time path, but we know you will not be happy with either result. You may have noticed during our channelings, we often do not say, do this or do that, because we know the mind, we know how it works. It will not be satisfied. If we tell it, yes, invest, something will go wrong. If we tell it, no, don't invest, that investment will seemingly do well. And this is just how the linear, logical, egoic mind works. And yet, what we know to be the best result is when we encourage beings to step up their game by moving into a place of peace before they make a decision. Then we know that they will fully embodied be satisfied with their decision. Now, of course, there are times when linear thinking must be addressed. There are decisions that must be made. And so if there is some sort of you're feeling some sort of rush to make a decision, we honor that. We cannot tell you what to do as far as whether to invest or not. But of course, as you probably already know, our guidance to you is to follow your instinct, because even if you are projecting onto this being, that projection will play a role in the outcome of the situation. So if in a moment a being is not resonating, is not feeling aligned with you, then you can know it is just not the right time to interact with that being or decision. Just like a trigger. Yes, do we want beings on earth to be triggered? Absolutely. As we said in our last channeling, if you were all fat, happy, and comfortable, you would not take these strides for spiritual enlightenment. And yet, at this time, we are not saying that you should be triggered and continue to expose yourself to a trigger over and over and over again so that your nervous system is so irritated it cannot make a decision. That is like sticking your finger into an electrical socket. And instead of doing it once and pulling back, you put it in there and you allow the electricity to run through you until it burns you out. No, the most ideal way to move through an issue, to get to quantum time, to address these thoughts and underlying deficits of healing, is to be exposed to a trigger and then retreat, to come into your own space and use the arts, the writing, the painting, the drawing, the surfing, the speaking, the talking with friends to navigate what is going on. And then once all of the triggered energy has come up, you've released it, however you choose to do so, underneath that heaviness, a clear answer will emerge. And many times the clear answer is not either yes or no. It will be something completely different. It will be something that you would have never imagined. And while the energy is stuck within, we know you have done releasing around this question, but maybe there is more that needs to come up. So you can thank this being for showing you an aspect of yourself. But that is an aspect of yourself that you do not want to keep. So why engage with it? Why take what you all feel is super precious on this planet, which is money, and put it in the energy of either your projection or your sense, because either way, it is not the road to go down. Now, say there is a perfect spiritual being, we will say, not that there is on planet Earth, but let us just say that there is a perfect spiritual being and you see them and they are offering you something and you feel triggered by them and you hate them. And you realize later on, wow, I was projecting my issues onto that being. Well, we will tell you a being that is perfect, just as we are, would never put a time limit or pressure on you to make a decision. And in fact, that being would be ready and waiting for you with open arms whenever you had moved through the projection. And in fact, that being would be excited that they were able to push out of you some aspect that was no longer serving you. And so there would be no time limit on that being. So, yes, it is very confusing to know the difference between projection and sense. And that is part of your training as a spiritual master. You must learn, when am I projecting and when am I intuiting? And either way, writing your feelings down, using artwork, setting intentions for clear messages from us, crystal clear so that they could not be mistaked, is a great way to begin to dissect them. You can think of every decision as a project, a mini project, where it might take time to decide. You may have to often say, as you continue on this journey, as your vibration gets higher and higher, let me think about that. Let me meditate on that. And we will tell you a story of this being so that this will help you to understand where you are. This being was offered a position at a surf therapy camp this summer. There was gold shiny stars all around this idea for this being. What more could she want? Surfing and therapy. It is basically her mantra of life at this time, to help cleanse people and clear them by going in the water and then talking about their problems from that more enlivened, enlightened state. We offer to you at this time, water may help to clear your energy, a pool or any such, sauna, things like that. And we digress. And the woman who offered this to her is someone that she loves a lot, surfs with a lot, has always had great vibes with. And yet, when the meeting was over and the next day came, her mind was full of regret, anger, annoyance. She could not understand why she had so many thoughts of feeling like something was not right. And she considered the same as you. Am I projecting? Am I projecting? What is wrong here? What is wrong? This is a gleaming opportunity, a possible expansion of clients for herself, a possible expansion of money, of recognition. And she could not figure out, well, why does it not feel right? And it took her, we asked her, we said, we need you to go within. We need you to tell this being you cannot speak to them for a while about this opportunity because you are not clear. She could tell she was not grounded. She could sense that she was not receiving information from us accurately. And the one thing she was able to do was say, I cannot talk to you about this now. I'm sorry. I hope you can understand. I will not say yes until I have a clear message. And a month went by, and 5 weeks went by, and 6 weeks went by. And it took this being that amount of time to realize that it wasn't about a yes or no to this camp. It was a beautiful opportunity, and the being was beautiful, and she was grateful. But what the opportunity actually offered her, what the gift was that she did not want to work for other people anymore. She did not want to give her time and beautiful energy to supporting a different company's surf therapy program. That actually, it was not about the money, it was not about the time, it was not about any of these thoughts and ideas that came into her mind. It was actually an entirely different thing. She had not yet uncovered that her directive, her deep soul yearning, because she is so busy and full of other distractions, was that she wants to take her time and energy and dedicate it to growing something of her own, growing something that is specifically for surfing waves of light. And while she is not against collaborating with this being, she did not want to be under that being's time management and schedules and all these very linear things. And so we hope that this story will help you to understand that we place these opportunities in front of you that seem linear. And yet, if you allow the process to unfold, if you can be patient enough to wait and to say, well, I'm not clear, it is not a good time to make this decision, that whenever you do get to peace, whether it be in 6 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, or a year, when you get to peace, you will have the understanding that will not only uplift you, but will guide you down the golden path that is set for you. Because the world has taught us this specific path. You make money by investing. You do these certain things in this way. It is very robotic, and that is how we go about things. And yet, the golden path doesn't look like that. In fact, it is full of surprises. It is full of tiny inspirations of doing things you love and are fun, and then meeting a contact, of getting your house in order, as this being has recently done. And as soon as she was settled in the bus, she got a brand new client for surfing, one who is paying her a beautiful rate that is of her value, that is much more than would have been for this camp. And yet it is not about money, it is about value. And so it is hard at first to understand the difference, because that is the work, is this discerning. It's this constant wiggling of back and forth. And so we wiggle through the linear time, we clear out the linear thinking to eventually get the deeper understanding. And so while this decision feels like a yes or no, there's actually a gift that is much deeper here. And so as you move through disseminating this information for yourself, figuring out what this being is meant to bring up in you, as we see a repeating pattern here. You haven't had an experience with her through the Healy device. Now you are having another experience with her through money. And so there is something here for you. There is some deeper message of understanding. And so that is going to be the real gift. The money, as you said, these banks, you do not know what is going to happen there. And yet it is okay to trust that things will be okay, that even if you do not make this investing opportunity, that there will be another opportunity, because that is all life is. It is full of endless opportunities. And we must remind you, dear Netta, you have just stepped off the cycle of work, of go, of do things. And so when you first get off the treadmill, you're going to feel wobbly. You are going to feel like unstructured, worried. You have to do this, you have to do that. There's going to be a whole AI generated world telling you what to do. And that's the game here, is to take time and space for yourself to hear the internal voice, because that is the one that is the most intelligent. That is more connected than any AI, any internet, any technology on earth. The highest form of technology on earth is the tuning of the human mind, body, spirit, consciousness to the vibration of love. And when a being is attuned to love, they will always make the right decision. They will always take the most beautiful path. And that is really what this journey is about. It goes and goes and goes, and you can walk through the thorn bushes, and you're going to have your lessons. And sometimes you'll want to take the rocky path, the harder path, or it'll be necessary because of a deep conditioning that will require a bit of wearing down to get you back up to the beautiful path. But we tell you that this life for you and this being, it is full of beautiful experiences. And these decisions that seem sort of normal day to day, they are actually inspiring in you the opportunity to figure out how you make decisions, to figure out how do you sort through all the different feelings and emotions and projections. And you take the time to disseminate that, whether with a friend or being like this person, this channel who helps you by bringing us through and listening and weeding through energetically as you speak. You know that she is clearing energetically all that you say and setting intentions that you feel peace and alignment around any discord within your energy system, or you speak with your friends, or you travel abroad and you find a place where you can be quiet with yourself and be surrounded with people. We know that at first in this journey, yes, oftentimes there aren't a lot of people. This being has lived in her island community for a long time. It is only as she makes these quantum decisions and does the work on herself that new people who are into all this stuff appear. Her new surf client is a avid listener of Abraham and Seth and is well aware of channelings and A Course in Miracles. She could not have asked for a better client. And yet, if she had accepted this seemingly gold-wrapped, beautiful proposition of her surf therapy camp of her friends, this opportunity would not have presented. So sometimes, too, in life, opportunities come to prepare you for bigger decisions. And that is our inkling of what this is. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for you to invest, Ironetta. This is just one. So feel into it and know that as you are now the captain of your own ship, as you are in charge of your time and space and energy, much more will come to you because of the time you have, because of the space you have, and because you are not working anymore. You can travel longer. You can stay in places that are not expensive. You can find ways to navigate the world on Wednesdays instead of Saturdays when prices are significantly decreased. There are apps that will tell you when flights are cheap. And we want to let you know that we are here to support your journey. And so if you want a flight or you want a timing for a decision or a when to go, set your intention and light a candle every single day. Ask every single day and then be patient enough to wait. That is the hardest part about planet Earth is because energetically you are shipwrecked on an island where you feel you have limited resources and limited time. And so you put up your flag of help. And then the hardest part is waiting and trusting and knowing that the help is coming. And sometimes you may not recognize the help, and that is okay. So when you do not recognize it, say to us again, I invite you, I give you full permission to allow me to have the clearest, most crystal clear signs, unmistakable guidance. Make it clear even for where my consciousness is now. And you are allowed to do that. You can be as specific as you want, and you can tailor your messages because we know you are receiving messages. We know even a being who is not spiritual at all can receive messages. We just need to find the line, and you know that we will work with you. We will work with any being who asks. So continue to ask as you have been and continue to do the work. This is the work, is navigating through all the thoughts and feelings to come to the good feeling place, to jump in the water and clear the energies and come to peace and make decisions from peace. Anytime you are unsure, it is not the time to make decisions. If you have to make a decision, then you do your best. But if you have time, then go to that ashram and take months for yourself and come out of that ashram and revisit that email, revisit that question. And we promise you, you will be crystal clear because you'll feel it just as you felt it with those beings at the ashram. You know what it felt like to be around them. So why not seek out a financial opportunity that feels like that? That is the gold. That is what you want. And that, dear being Annetta, is aligned with the loving aspect of financial consciousness that you deserve. That is what you deserve. So we encourage you to follow the directives of your heart. We encourage you to follow the directives of your ego and make some mistakes. All is well because either way you will be led on your path. Either way, the money will be there. There is not a wrong decision you can make because you are in an accelerated path of learning. And we know that this can be quite challenging. And yet you did sign up for this. You are supported. This being is here for you. There are many other beings here for you. So you may seek them out as you feel necessary, as you feel is fit, and know that there is a beautiful expression of your life that is already here and is going to continue to evolve. It is fun. it is loving, and that is the energy that we want you making decisions from. That is the quantum energy. It is not some magical coil of the Tesla function. It is the love. That is the highest form of technology. And from love, there is nothing that we cannot deliver to you, dear Netta. And that is our objective, is to serve you, is to serve your highest good. And so if you want something and it is in alignment with your highest good, you can believe that we will bring it to you if you have the patience to wait. We are the Arcturian Council with ASANTE Germain, and we will speak to you again for sure at another time.
Thank you so much. I really, that was very, very helpful. I mean, sure, it's a challenge, but I understand. Um, yeah, that was a very helpful way of, yeah, how to come to a place of certainty, and to relax, because that's the thing. I often feel so much under pressure, time-wise. I'm like, I have to make a decision now, and I'm not sure.
All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that little sneak peek into a private channeling session with Anetta. It was such a pleasure to be able to share that with you all. And I just want to clarify that as far as the surf therapy camp goes, I have still not had a full conversation with the leader of that camp about how involved I will be, but I am still considering a level of involvement. The channeling was more about me taking on a continuous role in the day-to-day activities of that camp, and that was the discernment that I was not getting. Whereas I will for sure be collaborating with her, and I highly recommend you checking out her offering, especially if you are local to the area. It is going to be a very consistent, very accessible offering. The leader of that program is a therapist and has many, many years of experience with both therapy and surfing. And if I was not already a surf instructor, I would definitely be signing up for her program. So that's surf therapy. I'll leave swell therapy. I'll leave a link in the description below. So just want to clarify that. If you're interested in doing private surf lessons, that's something that I do. Please hit me up. I love taking out individuals one-on-one, and that's also been part of the guidance, is to work with individuals. And yeah, so anyway, just wanted to add that in. And I am offering a book club starting next month. July 1st will be the first meeting. We're going to be reading the book Anastasia, and see this little commercial I made following in a minute. Love you guys all so much. Thank you for watching. As always, I love that you're here. I appreciate that you care about my channelings, and I'll speak to you again at another time.